Okay, so now we are in the more advanced editing interface of Fairlight. A little bit about Fairlight. Basically, this used to be a standalone, full-blown post-production sound mixing program, and then DaVinci Resolve purchased it and stuck it into DaVinci Resolve. And so now you basically have the power of a full-blown audio mixing and editing program like Pro Tools or Logic, anything like that, within DaVinci Resolve. So it's a thing where kind of the sky's the limit when it comes to this program, but I'm just going to go over some of the, again, more commonly used functions. But if anything, once you have a project that gets a little bit complex, it's always nice to have an entire interface that's dedicated just to sound design compared to only having this layout and this little box here and these little meters here. I mean, just a comparison, you can see right away that you have a lot more to work with. Okay, so we're just going to do something very simple here. Again, everything that you did in the previous page, you can do here. It just might be a little bit easier because of the layout, for example. You can add your effects. If I go back, you can see that you can easily see all of your different meters, except this one divides it into left and right, because they are set up as stereo tracks. Whereas here we see something a little simpler. It's just one track. There we go, one track.
Adventure.
And you can see both, and here you can see both the left and right channels. And it's all laid out up here as well, and all your different loudness meters.
Always has a story.
So usually the first thing I do is just, here we have our tools, and I can just go here and you can start. There we go. Expanding this, and this is to zoom in and out, but you can see it all revolves around just simply the audio part of things. But one of the main things that I wanted to show you here, and actually I want to turn off the effects here now so I can see the full timeline. Basically, it's a really great page to mix your audio. So now I'm going to mix the music with the voiceover. Okay, and a very easy way to do this is basically turning on the automation. So go here, and then what do we want to automate? Well, we actually want to automate the faders. So I turn this on, and then you can see that we have the fader icon here, and then also one here. And that way we're activating these to tell it, okay, we want to actually record. We actually want to record as we're making adjustments on the fly down here. Okay, so let's just listen through it. And I'm actually going to adjust the music.
Adventure. It's a word that always has a story. Adventure makes us stronger. Adventure terrifies us. Adventure pushes us forward. Adventure is a hero's journey. Because when we look back on our adventures, we realize we had it in us all along. And once you've conquered one journey, the next one is always on the horizon. Explore the wilderness.
Okay, and so that has been recorded. And actually, if we go here to where it says none and we turn on fader levels, okay, and we turn on fader level here, and then we turn on fader levels on the music, you can see that it shows us what we've done exactly. You can see that it makes this very easy to on the fly just make all the different adjustments. And basically the automation is something that some people like having on all of the time. Doing this here is kind of like a one-off thing where if I just want to make one quick adjustment, I can turn this on, and then as soon as I make that adjustment, this will reset so that if I go through again and whatever I do, it actually was not recorded because this was not on. But if I do want that to stay on, if I'm going to be doing multiple rounds of mixing and adjusting the different tracks, then you can turn on snap. Explore the wilderness. You see, and then that'll record that. And so you don't actually have to turn this on. So that's just kind of an optional thing for you. Depending if you want to do a just one-off adjustment, you can turn this on just for that one adjustment. but then you have to remember to turn it back on for the next adjustment, or you can just keep it on snap, and then as you're making these multiple adjustments, it'll record all of them. Okay, so now if I go back and then on this one, I'll go through and mix just the voiceover.
Adventure. It's a word that always has a story. Adventure makes us stronger. Adventure terrifies us. Adventure pushes us forward. Adventure is a hero's journey. Because when we look back on our adventures, we realize we had it in us all along. And once you've conquered one journey, the next one is always on the horizon. Explore the wilderness.
And there we go. You can see that it's a much easier. Now this is obviously a very kind of simple example, but you can see that, you know, in situations where we have a lot of tracks, things like that, a lot of times editors will work in something like this and just make a ton of different keyframes and drag things up and down and do different stuff like that. But that's part of the power of Fairlight, and in the Fairlight window is that you can go through and just have the full interface to make adjustments like this, and also just cool things like mixing your project in Fairlight will just make it look a little bit more polished, a little bit more professional, and it'll honestly make things much easier and move along much faster. So now you can actually watch it. Here's your playback window. You can also just break this out if you want. Resize it. But I'll just leave it there.
Adventure. It's a word that always has a story. Adventure makes us stronger. Adventure terrifies us. Adventure pushes us forward. Adventure is a hero's journey. Because when we look back on our adventures, we realize we had it in us all along. And once you've conquered one journey, the next one is always on the horizon. Explore the wilderness.
There you go. And so that is a very quick introduction to Fairlight. More than anything, again, this whole window alone could be, you know, a 10-hour course on its own. It's similar to the color window or the Fairlight window. You could simply spend hours and hours here going every single little tool, because they are full-blown post-production editing tools for sound and for color and for VFX, for example. But really, I just wanted to introduce you to it so you're not afraid of it, so you can see the power that it has. And so that at the very least, you can jump in here, use this as your window to apply your different effects that we have here and modify those. And also go in here and start mixing your audio using automation, which saves a lot of time and makes your sound design and sound mixing sound way better. Okay, so in the next lesson, we are actually going to go back into the edit page and we are going to work with titles. So now that we have this project here, we've mixed it, we've done a basic, you know, we've found our picture lock, so to speak. Now we're going to add a couple titles and start, you know, polishing things further. So I will see you there.